Hey everyone, welcome to Fork and Path. I'm Sadie, and I'm here to talk to you about how we went to the Yucatan and why you should too. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. So why Merida? We were actually in Mexico for my best friend's wedding, and she got married at an all-inclusive resort just outside of Cancun. So we knew we were going to have that all-inclusive Mexico experience, but we also wanted to do something a little bit different. We landed on Merida for a few reasons, actually. First, it was a very convenient bus ride from Cancun. We didn't have to fly again like we would have had to for Mexico City or Oaxaca, so that was a big plus. Second, it's a walkable city. We wanted to make sure we weren't going to have to rent a car and drive around. The final reason is because my cousin's niece's fiance, Francisco, he's actually from Merida and his family lives there. So he was actually able to come with us, and we were able to do some amazing once-in-a-lifetime experiences, like go visit a traditional Mayan apiary. We got to stand on top of this cathedral in Peto, Mexico, where you could literally just see jungle for miles and miles around. It was insane. So yeah. So what we did was we flew from Denver to Cancun, spent a couple of days at the resort near Cancun, then took a bus from Cancun to Merida. While we were in Merida, we did a couple of other day trips. One of them was to Progreso, which is a little beach town, and the other was to Peto, which is where the Mayan apiary that we visited was. Then, after our time in Merida, we took a bus back to Cancun and flew to Denver. Now, the bus liner that we took is ADO Platinum. I would highly recommend that. It was fantastic for a ride. We had air conditioning, we had reclining seats, we had entertainment system, there was bathrooms, water, everything you could possibly need in a bus liner. You can also purchase tickets in advance from Bus Buds, and I'll link that below. We had such an amazing time. We had so many once-in-a-lifetime experiences. We were able to do so many things that I don't think we would normally have done if we just went on our own. For example, visiting the traditional Mayan apiary, we were only able to do because of Fran. Thanks, Fran. Okay, now I've sort of gone through our trip with you. Now I want to let you know why you need to go to the Yucatan. Now I know there's a lot of concern about the safety in Mexico. The Yucatan is actually one of the safest areas in Mexico. So both New York and Chicago actually have higher murder rates than the entire state of the Yucatan. And just to be clear, I am talking about the state of the Yucatan, not the Yucatan Peninsula, which includes Quintana Roo, Yucatan, and one more I'm blanking on. I'll post it. I'll put it up here. It'll be here. That being said, don't be stupid. Standard travel safety still applies. Make sure that you have your valuables locked up, that you are taking measures to prevent pickpockets, that you are not being stupid and doing something illegal like buying drugs. Make sure you have a copy of your passport stored in a separate location from your passport, and don't walk around in quiet, dark places alone. One thing that actually made us feel really safe while we were there is there's actually a lot of checkpoints all around the Yucatan. So pretty much every town or city that you go into on a major highway has a checkpoint before you come in. And the Mexican police there will actually review your documents, make sure that you're good to go before you go in the city. And so this was in all of the towns that we drove through. They had these checkpoints, and you don't always get stopped. We were actually stopped on our way into Merida, which I definitely don't mind, but my tip for that is if you're stopped, just comply and just be as nice as possible. The Yucatan is a really, really beautiful place. It's slightly less touristy than Quintana Roo with all of the all-inclusives and Cancun, but it's just touristy enough that it's still easy to navigate, and there's plenty of signage in English in case you don't speak Spanish. The thing I liked about going here is that I felt like we actually got the opportunity to have some interaction with Mexican culture, which I don't feel like you always get that experience if you're going to an all-inclusive resort. Sometimes if you have excursions, yes, but on the whole, it's really nice to feel like you're immersed in a different culture, and that's part of why we love to travel so much. There are a plethora of Mayan ruins in the Yucatan, some notable ones being Chichen Itza, Uxmal, and Dizbilchaltén. Dizbilchaltén is actually the ruins that we went to, and I loved them. It's definitely a smaller ruin site than both Chichén Itzá and Uxmal, but it's a lot less touristy. I've been to Chichén Itzá a few times before, and it's always nuts with tourists. To Bilchaltén, we actually were able to see pyramids and structures all to ourselves, which was fantastic. Bonus, there's also a cenote on site, so you can go swimming after you see the ruins, which is great. The Yucatan is also famous for their cenotes, and in Merida, there's actually a bunch of tours where they'll take you around to all of these cenotes in a horse-drawn carriage, which sounds really cool, and I'm really bummed that we didn't get to do it, but we didn't do it because I'm deathly allergic to horses, so that was a pass. Merida also has these gorgeous colonial buildings, and I know it's really kind of like, there's these Spanish colonial buildings with all of this like extravagance right near these Mayan ruins, but really they were quite a sight to behold. They are very, very well preserved, very well maintained, and a lot of them are actually open and you can go in them. They have shops or museums or things like that. One of the coolest experiences I think we had was going to the Anthropology Museum in Merida. It's in one of these old colonial houses, but it's really cool because it's only Mayan anthropology. So it has all of this artifacts and all of these drawings and stone structures in there that are from Mayan ruins, and it's taking over this Spanish colonial building. So it's amazing to see this decadence of Spanish colonialism being swallowed up by Mayan culture, and I thought that was really amazing. Overall, the Yucatan is also relatively inexpensive, especially when compared to all-inclusive resorts. And personally, I think you get to do so much more unique, cool things and have so much better food than when you're at an all-inclusive resort. Our average meal cost at restaurants was about $20 for 3 people. And I would like to add that we order a lot of food because we're always looking to try as much of the menu as possible. Also, the street food is super inexpensive too. You can get most street food for under $1. Our Uber rides cost us about $2. We also noticed that the hotels and Airbnbs are pretty affordable. You can of course go crazy and spend a lot of money on a super luxury hotel, but most of the ones are really, really reasonably priced. You didn't think Fork and Path wasn't going to talk about food, did you? So we did a blog about this, which I will also link in the notes below, but essentially there's a few different types of food you can eat. There's street food, cocinas económicas, there is botanas, and then traditional brick and mortar restaurants. Cocinas económicas are brick and mortar places, and they specialize in one particular thing. For example, our favorite was Las Cuecas. They just specialized in quesadillas. So their quesadillas were fantastic. They had so many options, quick, easy, cheap, good. Street food is going to be your typical vendor food. They'll have everything from chamoyadas, which are these delicious shaped ice drinks, to marquesitas, which are basically crepes with Nutella and Edam cheese that are crispy. Very, very good. So the botanas are actually bars. They're called snack bars. And what happens is when you order your first round of drinks, they'll bring you out a round of food. And when they order your second round of drinks, you'll get another round of food. Third drinks, round of food. You get the idea. The thing about the food is that it starts off being not as nice and then graduates into being nicer and nicer and nicer. So the more you drink, the better food you get. It's a really fun way to do food, and it's great if you're just hanging out with some people. We did this a couple of times, and the most memorable one was we were in Progreso, which is the little beach town near Merida. And we were just sitting out there on the beach enjoying a nice cool breeze, having some really nice frozen drinks, and enjoying some snacks. And restaurants are going to be just like they are anywhere else, particularly in Merida. You're going to find your chain restaurants, you're going to have your easy hole in the walls, you're going to have your high-end restaurants. Pretty much the same situation you'd find in any city. Some of our favorites in particular are chilaquiles because chilaquiles are the best. Chilaquiles is a delicious breakfast and snack food place that specializes in build your own chilaquiles, and I would highly recommend it. Another favorite of ours is Maíz Canela y Cilantro. This little restaurant is run by 4 women. Everything is fresh, homemade. It's in this converted house. So there's this gorgeous little courtyard. You can eat in the dining room. You can eat in the living room. It is so much fun, and the food is just fantastic. Another favorite of ours is Apawala. Apawala is a gastropub, so everything's sort of on the trendier side there, but they have some really unique takes on traditional dishes. Their aguachile, which is kind of like a ceviche, was so good and unique. I loved it. It was delicious. Another favorite of ours is Cook, and Cook is one of the higher end restaurants in Merida. It is so good. We had probably most of the menu, and they were very concerned that we were ordering so much food, but it was so good. The dessert we had there was worthy of any dessert at any 3 Michelin star restaurant. It was out of this world fantastic. It was That's all we have for you today. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video and that it's given you some inspiration for your own Yucatecan adventure. If you have any comments or questions, definitely let us know below. And again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Plancha!